understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroic and clever.
You have failed this city.
So I have this thing with roles. There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
You're the boy from the circus.
I started up a security firm.
Finally, a superhero team I can actually get behind.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV Report for the week ending Saturday, October 12th, 2019. I'm Laletti O'Hare.
And I'm Sarah Netzley, academic by day, writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
Okay, I'm shaking out my hands, getting loose. We have this week 5 new episodes, one of them a series premiere, 3 of them a season premiere, and then we have one episode refresher to lead us into a premiere this coming week. Did I get them all?
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's a lot. We got a lot to cover. Welcome to the official beginning of the fall TV season. We're back in action. We got a lot going on. We're jumping right in. Oh, Sarah. How does it feel like to be busy again with DC TV?
You know, they gave us some good episodes, so I feel good. I feel positive. About things.
Yeah. And we do have a lot to talk about. I did notice some of our friends were a little bit more active on getting the word out on social media. We got some real heartwarming tweet from @Molly2910, who's named Tanya. It says, "Thanks, Sarah and Ed. I broke my leg a week and a half ago. Just got out of the hospital. No internet at hospital. Your show filled in all the gaps on what's been happening on my favorite shows. Glad to hear Sarah and I are on the same wavelength about the Arrow spinoff. Tried to love Juliana. Oh, thank you, Tanya. That was really cool to hear. I'm glad. I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
I hope you're
really sorry about your leg. That sounds awful.
Yes. But it's I feel really touched that we could play any small part in making you feel better. Yeah.
So keep feeling better, and we're happy to keep you company. And yes to that spinoff news. And what I mean by that is no to that spinoff news. So.
Yes. Also, another Tanya @Tanya Mel says, "Damn y'all, Estonia is adorable, and I went on vacation there with old rich white people, so I can assert it's safe."
I have questions about said old rich white people who transported her across country lines for vacation purposes. Were you safe or were you taken? Capital T, unleash Liam Neeson.
Or Rambo. Don't forget Rambo.
You have a variety of old white men to save you from old white people. I mean, it's
yes. For those of you who do not know, Rambo: Last Blood, which I think is still in theaters. The first half of it is Rambo does Taken, and the second half is Rambo does Home Alone.
So we've got Sylvester Stallone coming back in Rambo. Arnold Schwarzenegger's coming back in Terminator. Do these guys have mortgages? Is that the thing?
Oh, yes. That's always the thing, and it's classic IP. This is we know this will make some money. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Rambo: Last Blood for what it was. First Rambo movie I've ever seen. And it met my expectations exactly where they were going to be. So I was pleased.
Wait, is that high praise to say it exactly met my expectations?
It's not high praise. That movie is exactly what you think it is. So, if you just want to go see someone violently kill a lot of people and have a couple of explosions along the way, there you go. There you go.
I feel like a number of movies would meet that criteria.
Yes.
For you. But
Yes.
if you need to be Sylvester Stallone.
But that's
so it never fails to blow my mind when I think about the first Rambo movie and then look at, if I may paraphrase Hamilton, which I'm going to talk about later, look at where we are, look at where we started. Like, how did we go from that guy to that guy? Yeah. That's all.
All right. And also one other shout out that we got from @Deke273. Looking forward to this week's DCTV report. I'm sure Sarah and Ed have done their due diligence with a little help, of course. And yeah, we did a lot of work. I have all my notes. Sarah did all her research and news and stuff like that. So yeah, we're pumped. We're ready. Also, thanks for checking out the Joker special that we did. I wish we'd liked the movie more. But if you want to hear two people go a little bit more in depth and give a little bit more praise to the movie, check out the Wicked Theory podcast. Bill Sweeney had Uncle Jay on, who worked as an extra on the movie and provided a little bit more insight into what was going on, and I thought that was a cool episode. So go check out our sister show.
Agreed. Even if I didn't like it as much as they did, I really enjoyed their thoughts on it. So yeah, it's good. Even if you were lukewarm on Joker, I think they have an interesting take that is worth checking out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's also kind of working on a movie when it's interesting to hear about what it's like to work on a movie when you don't have the script, and to see like some how you can piece together some conclusions, and sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong, and I thought that was really interesting. So yeah. Also, so if you want to drop us a line, you can email us dctv@wickedtheory.com, or tweet us at DCTV report. Also, if you want to help us out, just with overhead, keeping the lights on, Wicked Theory does have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Wicked Theory, and for as little as $1 a month, you can lend us a hand. And there's also a free podcast there called Ed Bonds with Bill, where I force our executive producer and the head honcho at Wicked Theory, Bill Sweeney, to watch James Bond movies, and he's slowly falling in love with them, or so I think. Last time
he would have you believe.
Last time we watched Goldfinger, and right after we record, I finish editing this podcast, I'm going to go over and show him another one of my favorite James Bond movies, which I can't reveal because he doesn't know yet.
Dun, dun, dun. So do you go around obsessively singing the theme songs after each time you watch?
I'm gonna say, like, because I do a deep dive research, which really involves going through the Wikipedia and the fandom wiki pages, and checking out all the Blu-ray special features. But I am humming those theme songs, especially the good ones, and it's really hard not to do that when I'm driving Bill home from work every day. So not to slip out that gold finger. Oh, Shirley Bassey.
Also the name of a Pennyworth episode, right?
Yes, which gets us back on track. So we have a lot.
Look at that. Professional podcasters.
Yes. Sarah, you ready to dive in? You ready to let's get this started?
Yeah, let's rip into it.
With a brand new show, which is Batwoman series pilot. Kate Kane thought back on the accident that killed her mother and sister, and how she got kicked out of the military for don't ask, don't tell. 3 years after Batman left Gotham, a ceremony held by the mayor to shut off the bat signal was interrupted by Alice and the Wonderland Gang, who had a vendetta against Jacob Kane and his Crow's security firm. Kate returned to Gotham and stumbled onto her cousin Bruce Wayne's secret. Last minute reveal, Kate figured out that Alice is her long lost sister, Beth.
And I liked it. I liked Batwoman.
I know, right?
I spent the whole episode just like, she is so cool. It was stylish. It was fun. There was action. It was good backstory. I thought the pacing was good. Ruby Rose was more expressive than I expected her. I don't mean to say that. I know her as the sort of sneering, strikes a pose kind of actor, but I thought she was really good. I really liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I thought it's the kind of, it's with any show set in the DC universe, but especially with a show set in Gotham City, tone is always going to be interesting to see how they handle it, because it could fall anywhere on the spectrum. And it wasn't like, completely dark dredges. The lights were on a lot. And it was bright enough to see. And there was some good humor in here. It wasn't all gloom and doom. But it still had that impact that we're in Gotham City and this is a terrible place to live. And I like the way that they balance in the humor in there. And yeah. And I thought the action was good. I thought it was very straightforward. This is the origin story. I there was a little too many flashbacks for my liking.
I was going to say voiceovers. There was a little too much clunky voiceover.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that that's just the pilot and we're getting all the exposition out of the way, and that's going to get scaled back through the rest of the series.
Yes, I will say the car accident, I thought it was really upsetting. Like I didn't really know. I didn't expect. I kind of sort of knew that she had family loss in her background going into it, but it was dramatic. I thought Mary was great. I love Mary. What a fun kind of new character. The motor mouth whirlwind who's also smart and tough, and I really like her. I love that dynamic that she has with Kate. I also loved the idea that Sophie, the ex, is the daughter that Kate's dad always wanted, which is like daughter-in-law awkwardness, So, and I love Doug Ray Scott as Kate's dad. Hey, Doug Ray Scott.
Yeah.
Forever Prince Charming in my heart from ever after.
Yeah. And you know what? The guy lost out on Wolverine. But I think this is a nice consolation prize. If this is
it's pretty close. It's pretty close.
If this is the way he ends up. He enters the comic book realm. This more than makes up for Mission Impossible 2. I'm happy.
Does it? That was not a good movie. That was the John Woo movie, wasn't it? I just remember doves everywhere.
Yes. It was the John Woo movie.
I was amused that the first time she goes into the Batcave, there's the dramatic bats, and it makes me wonder if every time Bruce goes down there, are the bats just waiting to be like, welcome? Like, that's just... Luke Fox was fun.
Yeah.
I also I liked that they set up really well. So she's not welcome in the military. Her dad doesn't want her in the Crows. He doesn't approve of her. So why not Batwoman? What else is she going to do? Why not? They really made a good case for why she decided to do what she did. And I like that.
Yeah. Yes. And I also like, because Luke Fox, I was afraid that he was going to be a lot like Cisco or Wynn on Supergirl. And just, I feel like every show has to have, this nerdy tech guy. And, of course he does fall into that bucket, but I thought that scene where he actually explains to her Bruce's side of that story, kind of how he blamed himself for what happened. I thought that added a little bit of depth to his character as well. And again, the way they handled that with the accident, I thought that was very well done.
Yeah.
Now, in turn, let's talk about just because there were two sides of the flashbacks. It was thinking back on the accident where she lost her mother and her sister, and also her time at I guess it was like boot camp or military academy. I know in the comics she's kicked out of West Point. I don't think they explicitly say West Point in this. I guess they were being a little bit cagier.
Yeah.
But what did you think of that? Did you think that was a little overdone, or did it seem genuine?
It didn't bother me. I didn't even think about like, oh, that seems like a little much. No, it didn't jump out as being unrealistic to me, in part I think because you needed that to push the plot into motion and then to push the character conflict forward. So maybe I was just fine with it for storytelling. Did it jump out at you as being kind of contrived?
Well, I mean, I think a little bit. I mean, I'm trying to think. I thought the moment where they got caught, and I guess there's really no great way to do that. It felt a little contrived, a little
Rushed, maybe.
Yeah. However, I did like the interchange where Sophie's like, "No, I'm staying. I took the deal." Because to character building, I think that sets up, because one, it puts Kate in this awkward place because, like, you could tell that she definitely had feelings for Sophie. But also it kind of showed that maybe Sophie didn't have the same feelings, or that she's prioritizing her life differently than Kate.
Well, and then we find out she's married.
Yes.
To a dude.
Do you think Tyler's a jerk? He definitely gave off a little bit of a, "Hey, how you doing? I'm a jerk" vibe.
Definitely, and here's the thing. Initially, he was played by Eric Johnson, Canadian blonde Canadian actor Eric Johnson. It was recast for the episode that made it to air. And I feel like he was recast because the instant you show me Eric Johnson, I know this dude is up to no good. He was up to no good on Rookie Blue. He was up to no good on Smallville. He was up to no good on Supernatural. And he was up to no good on The Nick, where he supported eugenics. So, Eric Johnson, I do not trust your handsome, dumb, blonde face. And so if you cast him as her husband, you may as well be saying he is going to go bad by episode 6. Now, they replaced him with some dude from the 100, who I also don't trust that much. So I don't know. Maybe they were trying to go for more trustworthy. I don't know. I don't trust him. I think he's got to, something has to, if we're going to have romantic tension, she can pine after a married woman, but I don't think she can stay married forever, right? Like, that's just not how these shows work.
Yeah. Also, I there are other people in Kate Kane's life that I know from the comics. I don't think she's supposed to end up with Sophie Moore.
There's more fish in the sea, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are you trying to keep things light and unspoilery for me?
A little bit.
Okay. All right. I'll take it.
But yeah.
But that was a genuine surprise for me. I didn't expect that, and I was a little like, oh no. So that was a good moment. I'm also super glad that they didn't keep the sister reveal until they didn't insult our intelligence by stringing that out for episodes and episodes. They immediately said, "Oh yeah, this could very well be her sister." Okay.
Yeah, like Flash would have waited until like episode 6 or 7 to drop.
And then all of that room full of scientists would be like, "What?"
Yeah. And what did you think of Alice?
Fun, great, scary. Into it.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that, she doesn't want to destroy Gotham. She just wants to embarrass Jacob Kane.
Yeah.
She just wants to embarrass her dad. And it's interesting. It's curious. Like, does Jacob know who she is? Like, what's the deal? Where's she been all this time?
Where's she been all this time? That's a good question.
And yeah. And, it's funny when I'm explaining this episode to my mother. I'm trying to say, well, it's Alice, and the Wonderland gang, and my mom asked, I'm just explaining, no, it just, they're a gang, and they're like Alice in Wonderland, and my mom's like, oh, there's no like mind control involved. I'm like, no, Mom, that's the Mad Hatter.
Come on. Get it together.
Yeah. I think this was a great pilot. With as with all new shows, episode 2 is going to be a much better indicator for where the series is going. But I'm pleased.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same. And I think I have a good feeling about quality moving forward. I think pilots can be a little tough. This seemed pretty confident and interesting, set up a good world, and I can't wait to see more.
All right. Was any news for Batwoman?
No.
All right.
Oh, well, okay. So it's the review bombing. So Batwoman's been getting review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes. And by that, I mean, it's got 2,000 reviews for its first episode. To compare that to The Flash, all of last season has like 800 reviews. So people have been showing up to talk about how terrible it is, at like 10% fresh. That is obviously untrue and unfair, and we can't have nice things because of it.
Yeah.
But if you were thinking about checking it out and you wanted over to Rotten Tomatoes and were like, whoa, what is happening? That's not, people are trash.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. Now, is that the audience score or the critic score?
Audience score. The critic score is decent. I want to say it was like 70%. I haven't checked it recently. But that's audience. That's people coming to be like, I don't know, lesbians are gross. I don't know what their problem is, but it's that's the intent. I think it's anytime you have women and different sexualities and things like that, and she has been explicitly pointed out to care about social justice and things like that. So it's just review bombing, and it sucks. In movies, they sometimes make people prove that they saw the movie before they'll let you leave a review for something like a Lady Ghostbusters movie, but you can't really do that with TV, so it's a problem.
Yeah, it stinks.
It is a problem.
Anyway,
it's a good show. Don't let that deter you. Check it out.
Yeah. All right, moving on to Supergirl season 5 premiere, Event Horizon. A mysterious shapeshifter stole Superman's spaceship and used it to free Midnight from the Phantom Zone. Lena plotted to expose Kara's secret identity. Everyone at Catco was up in arms after Lena sold the company to a VR mogul committed to making Catco more commercial. Brainy ignored how awkward his relationship with Nia was getting and became obsessed with designing a new suit and cape for Kara. Last-minute reveal, Miss Tessmacher was kidnapped while getting in her car.
Hey, Supergirl's back. And as with the best Supergirl episodes, the plot made no sense, but the emotions were so good I do not care. Something black hole, something John gets sucked up, something Event Horizon. I don't care. That scene between Lena and Kara was so good.
Yeah. This is
no, genuinely, I thought that was some of Melissa Benoist's finest acting when she confessed her identity. I thought she was wonderful. And when Lena walks away without a word and she's left to wipe her tears and pull herself together and she doesn't know if Lena's going to expose her, really, really good stuff. Some of her best stuff ever. Really wonderful. I'm frustrated with Lena, though. I guess she's a Luthor and you just have to let Luther's going to Luthor, but like, come on, Lena.
Yeah. Luthor. Oh, man. I don't know about Lena turning into a heavy here.
I know. I don't like it either.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's where the story's going, and narratively it makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Speaking of narrative shoehorns, Brainy making that suit. Uh,
Yeah. Her cape got shredded by a dinosaur. Okay. So Brainy made a new suit, but again, I bring this all back to the actress who was so genuinely delighted with pants. Pants.
yes, yeah, yes. That was a lot of fun. And just it was interesting how, like, her cape has never gotten torn before. Like, this is a thing. Um,
And it was bad for flight, okay?
yeah, the aerodynamics and everything else. But I thought that was fun. Really, really interesting moment with Brainy and Nia. I did not expect that moment to get that deep at the end.
Uh-huh.
Where it seems like she's been really awkward and not sure how to approach intimacy with him, and he's basically like, "Oh yeah, no, I've done that."
He was a little too insistent that he's done that. No, I've done that. I've done plenty of that.
Well, I think it's gonna be weird when it comes out that he's done that with, like, her great.
Well, yeah, when he said, "I've never loved anybody," I was like, "Dude, you're talking about her family member. What are you doing?" Also, I do hope you have worked "I am as serious as the pursed lips of Miranda Priestley" into conversation this week, because I sure have.
Yes. And yeah, I think I vote with Hans Gruber. I think that was a solid choice for best movie villain. Mhm.
I am recapping this for EW this season, as per usual, and in my recap, I have it goes Hannibal Lecter, then Hans Gruber, then Miranda Priestley, then Voldemort, then Cruella de Vil. That's my list.
Well, Hannibal Lecter was top of the AFI's list of villains, so that
I don't know. He's so charming. Okay, you know it's gonna happen. You knew this was coming, but just really, really quickly, we need to talk about Catco.
Yes. Okay. So Andrea Rojas, the owner of Obsidian North, the VR company, decides it's really important that this thing make money. Yuck.
Uh-huh. It was when she said, "I don't like the reputation we've gotten since Kara won the Pulitzer. We need to get rid of that." No, that's not how. No. And also, you don't just tell people you're under a new contract with a non-compete. That's not how contracts work. You have to sign them. And also, a non-compete is geographically bound. And so you can't just say you can't ever be a journalist again. James can just go to DC or, Washington State, or he just has to go a couple miles away. It's fine. That's not how any of this works.
Okay. Well, I
bring back Cat Grant.
I have a question, because Catco is a national media brand. Does that make a difference?
I am not a contract attorney or any attorney, but no, non-competes, from what I understand, are hard-ish to enforce, and so it is moot because they didn't sign the contract. You cannot just assign somebody a new contract. You could say, in order to stay working here, you have to sign this contract. Okay, but they didn't do that. It's not how it works. So again, the emotions and where we end up are stronger than how we got there. Supergirl is famous for that. Some people can't deal with it. I can. It's just this one kind of broke me because it was so gross. I'm touchy about journalism. I did like New British Journalist, though, who's like, "Oh no, I'm a good journalist, but I can write garbage for you." He was so supercilious. And also, this is just me reflecting on this scene. At one point, he waves his hand and he's wearing a very visible wedding ring. And to me, that felt like a way of saying, do not bother shipping him with anybody. He's just here to be a foil. Don't bother. He's married. Because I was already like, oh, they hate each other. Ooh, is this going where I think it is? Wedding ring. Never mind. All right, that's all my thoughts about the media stuff. Do you have things to say?
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of stupid that you're in journalism, obviously, but you've got to be at least a little bit commercial. I think James was on a high horse and being a little unreasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I think Andrea Rojas, who is very fun, and I like Julie Gonzalo a lot. I think she is being. We have two extremes here, neither of which is reasonable. You cannot do that hard a pivot. You just can't. And I get why James was upset, but I really, it's just kind of cartoonish extremes. But that's okay. We had to get where we had to get because, of course, James is leaving the show this season. So now we see how and why.
I miss Callista Flockhart.
I miss Cat Grant every day.
All right. And yeah, the big reveal was that the midnight. I thought that was a cool villain.
Yeah.
I thought her powers were cool. And John found out that his brother was the shapeshifter who was behind this.
But he has no brother.
To me, that sounded more like, you're not my real dad.
Well, and I wasn't actually sure if that's a different Earth brother or, I don't know. I don't know.
And
but
yeah,
it'll be nice to have another Martian around.
All right. Anything more to say about the episode?
No. As always, I'm delighted with the show, and I'm glad it's back. And we have no news.
All right, moving on to Black Lightning, season 3 premiere. The Book of Occupation, Chapter 1, Birth of Blackbird. Jefferson and Lynn were being held in protective custody by Agent Odell. Anissa worked as Blackbird to help a group of metas escape the ASA quarantine in Freeland. Jennifer was still having a hard time getting a handle on her powers. Last minute reveal, Lala woke up in a hotel room.
I was genuinely excited to see Lala. I really didn't know that we'd see him again, but bam! There he is with his tattoos.
Yeah. And, yeah. Jefferson and Lynn... Oh, wow. Agent Odell is a jerk. He's a really bad person.
Yeah.
I don't like him one bit.
Not, the coldest part of that episode was when the kid who gets people to tell the truth says, I thought you were here to kill me. And he pointed his food. Oh, I did. Dang. Cold.
Yeah. Oh, Issa. Man. He had that great scene with Tobias and now Lynn has to Lynn got shown the body, and like I just someone needs to stop this. This is too much.
I love the opening. I thought that was just an electric way to open the season, with telling your story and, being matter of fact and protesting your lack of powers, and the need to have the internment camps. And I mean, it was good. It was good stuff. Also, is that comic book intro new?
Yes.
I loved it. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just going through this. So also we got a new character on the show. Commander Carson Williams. Who's the ASA guy in town who's knocking heads. He really gave Inspector Henderson a talking to. And he's the one.
You could even say he gave him what for.
Yeah, he gave him what for. And yeah, he's kind of like laying down the law. In quarantined Freeland. Like, I didn't understand how bad it was at the end of last season. Like this is outrageous. This is almost it's not quite Batman No Man's Land, but it's going in that direction. Like how is no one doing anything? This has to be stopped. Oh, and yeah. So Anissa is like all Blackbird now. feel like she's completely left Thunder behind. And
that's cool. I like that persona, and I like what she means for the community, and yeah, it's good.
yeah, and Gamby's all business. He's immediately falling in line. I mean, I understand it's one thing, you've got to break those metas out, because of the danger that they're in. But I'm surprised that they're not working harder to find Jefferson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gamby was like, "No, we'll do Blackbird. It's fine. We're
Yeah, and it's one thing, like Jefferson was supposed to get out of quarantine, and instead Lynn gets captured and forced to stay in a cell with him.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I just don't think that Odella's up to any good.
Yeah. He's all talking about the Markovians, but I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure they're as bad as he says they are.
I guess we'll find out.
And Jennifer, man, is she a good sister? Like, is she?
No, she's a teenager, is what she is. She's a teenager.
Oh,
and we're gonna just.
What did you think of her putting on that holographic disguise? I was really fooled by that in the beginning.
I was too.
I thought for a second, oh, there's a new meta here. Oh, what's this? Who's this person? And then I didn't even realize it until she took it off. Like, oh my God, that was Jen. Wow.
You got me.
Gamby has better tech than Alfred. What's up with that?
Oh, now I want those two to meet somehow. I don't care which of the Alfreds. Any of the Alfreds.
Yeah. I wish they had more time to train Jen. Because
they got other stuff going on. Yeah, they're busy.
Yeah. It just, I mean, it felt like she kind of got stuff under control at the end of last season, but like, nope, we're still trying to figure this out. All right, and Lala, that's gonna be fun. Cool. I mean, it's weird. Do you think there's anything more to say with the episode, or anything more?
The soundtrack is as great as ever. I thought that Blackbird fight scene was great. It's good to have it back.
Yeah. All right. And there's no news for Black Lightning, right?
Actually, there is.
Oh, okay.
We have the announcement of a guest star, and it will be Wayne Brady, guesting as World War II super soldier Gravedigger.
Ooh.
And I gotta say, if you tell me that an actor is going to play somebody called Gravedigger, Wayne Brady is real low on my list.
You should check out his episode of Chappelle's Show. All right, because I think that was profound, and I think that if he comes even close to the type of attitude and acting that he showed in that episode, we're in for a treat. This guy does everything. He does everything.
I know. I missed seeing him play Aaron Burr in Hamilton in Chicago by like 3 weeks. So he does Broadway. He does guest starring spots on Black Lightning. He does Chappelle's Show. He does what's his game show?
Let's Make a Deal. Let's Make a Deal. Whose line is it anyway? I mean, this is a renaissance man. This is a true all-around 5-tool performer. I mean, the guy, he's a triple threat. The guy sings and dances, man. And he's gonna play Gravedigger. This is insane. This is I don't even know if I believe this story. Did you read the backstory on him in the article?
No.
Oh, so Gravedigger's meant to be this like World War II super soldier who's like leading the Markovian metahuman program. So like he could be a big bad. And like I'm curious to see exactly how many episodes that he's in, and how they handle this character. Like it's really, really interesting. So yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
Wayne Brady is everywhere.
Oh, all right. You ready to move on?
Yes.
Cool. Next show up, The Flash, season 6 premiere. Into the Void. Black holes began randomly appearing around Central City. Iris was still having a hard time after watching her grown daughter crumble into a million pieces. Caitlin found herself out of sync with her frosty counterpart after attending a funeral. Last minute reveal, the Monitor appeared to Barry and Iris and told them that on December 10th, 2019, the Flash must die.
And I liked Iris in this episode.
Ooh.
I know. I thought she had relatable emotions, and I liked Iris. What's happening? Also, Ralph was in a tux. This was a good episode.
Yes.
That's where I am on it.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, what's weird is like this is so the whole Barry Iris narrative where Iris is having a hard time is going through post-traumatic stress, and Barry is just in denial. I thought it was expertly handled under the strangest of circumstances.
Yes.
Just like, oh yeah, they saw their daughter crumble into a million pieces after she traveled in time and saved the world.
Well, and I mean, the grief process is strange, and they pointed that out. We're gonna see her again, but it's not gonna be that one. It's not gonna be the one we loved. And so I thought that was really well handled, and I was a little surprised that both were like, no, we're fine at the beginning. And I'm glad Iris pushed Barry to say, we're both sad here, and that's okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree with you. I thought that was a really, really good story. Kind of pivoting to this episode. It's funny. I thought we were gonna have a Godspeed episode, and then that was resolved really, really quickly. And then we get these black holes. And you know what, the thing I kind of liked about this episode, it felt a little bit like Star Trek, where the bad guy wasn't a person. It was one of those where, okay, so this is some scientific anomaly that we have to solve. It's not actually a malicious person. And that felt a little bit like old school Star Trek for me. And I kind of like that vibe to the episode, that it was just straight up problem solving and it wasn't anybody's fault.
Yeah, and the person behind it wasn't. I really liked the person behind it. He was interesting. He's different. If Chester P. Runk is going to stick around, I would love that.
Yes, yeah, and I think he will. It does. It definitely has that vibe that he's going to be recurring this season.
Yeah. I liked his eyes full of stars. Yeah, all of it. It was good.
Yeah. Really, really. I'd subscribe to that YouTube channel.
Yeah, totally.
Yes. However, this episode was not devoid of bad people or misguided people, and Dr. Ramsey Rosso, it's just bad news, just straight from the get-go. Bad news.
Okay, first of all, I'm never not going to refer to him on this podcast as Mohinder. You just all have to deal with that. Because I saw him first on Heroes, and that is how I imprinted on him like a baby duckling. So we start with Mohinder voiceovering, as Mohinder does. And for a second there, I was like, oh, he and Caitlin, like maybe, and then no, they're not going to have any kind of, which is probably for the best. Her love interests always turn bad, so I'm glad she wade into another one.
Yeah. And it's just, it sucks so much that my mom died, and it
and it does. I mean, don't get me wrong.
It does. But it was a very funny turn when he's in the coffee shop with Caitlin, and he's like, I cured cancer. I think I've cured cancer. And Caitlin's like, oh, really? I just need dark matter. Let's think about that for a second.
I don't think you have, though. In that case, I feel
let's
like no.
let's
put a pin in that.
Yeah, let's think this through here. Let's talk some consequences. Um, do you want to force people to receive metahuman powers that they may or may not be able to control, and may also have we're not sure if insanity might also be one of the side effects of this. Not really a fair trade-off. Don't know if that's it was also one of those moments where the villain just injecting himself with the serum actually felt a little earned, and I was like, oh, you deserve this. You deserve exactly what you're getting right now.
Yeah, he's one. Sometimes I guess I kind of felt like with Cicada, that was a guy who was trying to do good things for his niece, and it's kind of sad that he turned bad. But this guy, I'm like, nah, I see it.
Cool. And Caitlin's arc, trying to figure out how to balance Killer Frost, and Killer Frost actually wanting to share some time in control, and build a little bit of a life. I thought that was an interesting turn for that character.
Yeah, I like that conversation where, Caitlin says, it's not that I don't trust you to drive, and I guess now she is. And Ralph is going to help her, so yes. Ralph, who BT dubs, I believe, is trying to track down one Sue Dearborn.
Yes, that is a thing. I cannot wait until we meet her.
I am surprised we haven't heard casting news for her yet.
Yes.
That's all. I'm waiting for it.
Yes. And Ralph is back. That was fun.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to think. Oh, Cisco. So Cisco and Camilla seem to be working things out, and he's liking the life without powers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. Also, Killer Frost, two people sharing one body. Ugh. I don't know. I'm not sure this is going to be as smooth as we think it is at the end of this episode.
Ed foresees trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, and the Monitor. So the Monitor is going to be a real thing this season on Flash. It seems like that's going to be the show he's going to anchor with. Yeah. Real threat. And is Barry going to die?
I feel like he's going to be okay.
Yeah, but it's Crisis, Sarah. You don't know about Crisis.
It's true. It is Crisis.
Oh man, I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried. Anything more for Flash?
I think yes. Ed, they played the Flash Gordon song by Queen. And it brought me so much joy. The amount of times my husband and I just wander around our house singing that song to each other, I cannot even tell you. And when that came on, we both looked at each other like that surprised happy dog gif, like, it was so good.
Yeah, yes, and it's funny. Like Cisco says, I've been waiting to play this for years, and then when he drops, and that song fits this show so much better than it fits the Flash Gordon movie. It was insane.
The Flash Gordon movie is insane. I mean,
but it gave me a whole new appreciation for that song. And this might be an episode where I every once in a while I'll just throw just this first scene on Netflix just to watch it. I thought it was that good.
Yes.
Yeah. Some great musical moments going on this week. But yeah, definitely. All right, was there any news for Flash?
Just that the October 29th episode called There Will Be Blood is explicitly billed as a Halloween special. So I am looking forward to that.
Okay. All right. Looking forward to that. All right. Next up, our last show for this week, Titans. Season 2, Episode 6. Connor, a clone of Superman and Lex Luthor, escaped a Cadmus laboratory and with his dog Crypto and began searching for answers about himself. Dr. Eve Watson, the scientist who developed Connor, was dispatched by Mercy Graves to retrieve the clones. Last minute reveal: after saving Jason Todd, Connor was shot in the chest and someone put a kryptonite collar on Crypto.
Okay, I'm trying to moderate my enthusiasm here so I don't blow everybody's levels out. I loved this episode so much.
This episode was amazing.
So much.
This episode, like this might be like I just saw it, so this is definitely hyperbole. But like I feel like that was like the best comic book adaptation I've ever seen on TV. Like that. I mean, I'm serious. Like that episode was so killer. Just the way that they laid out the character, the whole idea that he's just gained consciousness and is running through, has no concept of the outside world, but also is dealing with these memories of two very different people, who evidently just grew up a couple miles from each other.
Yeah, that surprised me.
Yeah, it was an interesting, yeah. But Sarah, you may not understand this, but like this started immediately at the beginning of the episode because the theme that they put for Connor Kent, that little dun 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 dun, dun, is a very slow riff on the theme from the Superboy TV show from the early 90s. And
which I have watched a couple episodes thanks to DC Universe, but I did not notice that.
Yes. Well, the first 2 seasons of that show are really campy, and then the third and fourth season, it gets much better. But in that moment, once I heard that song and that music and I recognized it, I was immediately 3 years old again. And it just like, I was gushing from that moment, and it just had me, and I really, really enjoyed where this went, the journey that it took, and I love Connor's kind of like disposition. I think it's very interesting to see the way that he's seeing the world. And I'm like with him 100%. And yeah.
He soaked up the yellow sun. He accidentally mugged somebody. Every time you saw his natures battle each other, and you saw it.
Yeah.
It was great. It was wonderful.
Yeah, and I thought they did a good job very quickly establishing Cadmus and Eve Watson, and the characters there.
Oh, let me say some things about Eve. First of all, she's played by Genevieve Angelson, who was in Good Girls Revolt, which was cruelly canceled after 1 season on Amazon Prime. So it's great to see her again. But I loved her showing up as a party girl. Like, I love the juxtaposition of you can be smart and competent and a scientist and be running things at Cadmus, but also, have a life. I liked her duality there. Her conversations with Connor from start to finish were amazing. And when she got more truthful with him and was kind of like mother, teacher, creator, educator, it was so good. That I didn't expect to be as nervous for her at the end of the episode as I was. I just was horrified that they might actually kill her and we wouldn't get to see her again. And that made me really sad. So well done there.
Yeah. And Mercy Graves, who's Lex Luthor's assistant, I thought that was definitely the best live action version of that character, and maybe even better.
Better than Rona Mitra? Ed, how dare you?
And I always felt like in the cartoon, even that character felt a little stiff, and I feel like they did a good job here, kind of like establishing her, and definitely that she'll do anything for Lex, and that she's dangerous. I I feel like we just watched the pilot for a Superboy TV show, and all of a sudden I want to watch that instead of Titans now.
Yeah. I have seen the first season of Young Justice, that's my exposure to Superboy, and I thought this did just such a better job of explaining who he is and what. I think of him from Young Justice as kind of angry. This makes sense to me. I get it now. I get it. Also, can I tell you, when he said he woke up because they were experimenting on crypto, he woke up to save his dog. I can't even tell you.
Yes. Yeah. And I think you're right. You're right. In Young Justice, he's a very angsty teen, and they go like a full season before they mention the Lex Luthor connection. And I like that they get that out of the way right out of the gate. And it's this, it's this wide-eyed optimist who has this real darkness inside him. I thought it's the kind of thing where, like, in the comics, Lionel Luthor is this industrialist. He's basically like Lex, except he's not quite as cutthroat, and he's not a complete psychopath. And I actually liked that change, that he's a simple farmer, and that who kind of had a hobby for science, and that Lex was just so ambitious that he couldn't wait to get out of that place. That actually feels like a better character turn for a character that we haven't even seen on screen yet. I feel like this is great. This is great. Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm not doing justice to how well constructed this episode was. I'm not putting to words all the things I loved about it as effectively as I would like to. I would just say, if you're listening to this and haven't seen it, great, you do you, but also go watch this. Truly.
And even in that that last scene when we're like, oh yeah, that's right, we're watching Titans, I thought that integration was great. What's funny, some the news that we'll talk about with Titans, actually I don't know if we mentioned this, do you have news for Titans? Because there was...
I do not.
Oh, because there was one really big piece of news this week, which is that DC Universe put up a poll asking for fans to vote on the fate of Jason Todd. And
what won?
Well, I think the poll might still be ongoing, but Jason Todd Dies was like a couple hundred votes ahead last I checked. It was very, very even, like a day or two ago. But it looked like Jason Todd was going to die again. But he may die by the end of this season, but not in that moment, because Connor Kent saved him.
And I realized what was going to happen a split second before it did, and was so excited. Because when Connor walked past that person getting the beatdown, thinking that Eve told him run and don't be a hero, and he walked past that guy who needed help, a little part of me died. And then he caught Jason Todd.
Yeah. And it's you can't tell Superboy to not be a hero. You can't tell Superman to not help people. I mean, that's just it's just not gonna happen. And and the shock at the end when he gets shot. Oh man, that's That's heartbreaking. Like now I can't, like we've been saying like, oh, like the show with the old Titans 5 years ago, like we'd rather be watching that show. Like now that Connor Kent is has met up with the Titans, like no, now I want to watch this show. Like I can't wait to see where this goes.
Yeah, no, this was I'm glad that you liked it as much as I did, because it was just well constructed. It makes me a little sad we can't always have origin stories, and I think origin stories can be so powerful. And so I'm a little sad that you don't get to have that experience every week, I don't think, but I'm glad we got to have this one.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. So that covers Titans. And now we're gonna do a quick refresher on Arrow, which is coming back next week. So this is going to be the 8th and final season for Arrow. And just to see, what happened last season, where we left. So the big bad was Amiko, who turned out to be Oliver's long-lost sister, who is working with an organization called the Ninth Circle, trying to destroy Star City. And instead of flashbacks, we got flash forwards to the future, where Mia, Oliver and Felicity's daughter, was trying to save the city from a company called Galaxy One, which had kind of turned the city into this wasteland, that was driving everyone out with its hardcore security software.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you just reminded me about the future scenes and I'm depressed.
Well, in the end, Felicity came in and was able to help Mia and everybody, and William, Oliver's son, and Roy Harper and all those people stop Galaxy One. And we found out that Oliver and Felicity had to go into hiding to have the baby, or decided to go into hiding. And Oliver was called away by the Monitor because the crisis is coming. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all that happened. And so now we're going to have just a handful of episodes to wrap it all up.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Like I fully want this to just be Oliver universe hopping in the crisis, and it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, because we are going to have flash forwards, and we are going to still have stuff with Diggle and Team Arrow trying to keep everything together in Star City.
Yeah. And they're going to do a lot of love letters to seasons past. I believe the premiere is going to kind of throw back to season 1 and so forth. So we're going to see some familiar faces. And yeah. I am curious how this is all going to go.
All right. Any specific news for Arrow this week?
Let's see. Specific for Arrow, yes. Thea is back on October 29th in the episode Leap of Faith, directed by Katie Cassidy. So if you're a Thea lover, look for her the week of Halloween.
Yay!
And this is actually nice to kind of bridge the Arrow crossover news. But David Ramsey posted a picture of himself in costume with Oliver and Mia and John Constantine. Now, is it for the crossover? Is Constantine appearing on an episode of Arrow? That was not made clear to me, but it was kind of strange to see Constantine hanging with the Arrow people.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it's the crossover. It's Crisis, man. So everyone's going to get mixed in, You're going to see like Superman with Earth 1 with the Inferior 5. Like it's going to be all over the place.
He just made up the Inferior 5.
Look it up.
Other crossover news? You want me to launch into that?
Yeah, let's just dive into news for other shows.
Okay, all right. So news for the crossover. We have a leaked set photo, which gives us our first look at Burt Ward And it's delightful.
Yes. Normally I'm against, I don't like the idea of leaked set photos, but this is actually one of the best leaked set photos I've ever seen, probably because that sweater is such bright red and yellow.
It is what Robin would wear kicking around Gotham. That's what he would wear.
Yes, and he's walking a dog, which I am praying that dog is named Ace, the Bat Hound.
You know that they're going to reference that, right?
Yes. Which also makes sense because Burt Ward is a big advocate for dogs. I believe he owns a dog food company.
Aw, really?
Yes. Yes, he's I in an interview with Kevin Smith a couple of years ago, I heard him talking about how a lot of consumer grade pet food is not very healthy. And they try to do pet food. They sell pet food that's more meat based than vegetable based, and not smothered in lard.
But lard is so delicious.
It is. So yeah. So he's a big dog person. So it's to see him walking a dog on set makes total sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Anyway, so check that out. Great sweater, great dog, great all that. A couple more things. Kevin Conroy posted a picture of himself on location in Vancouver, and he seems to have a beard. So perhaps our Bruce Wayne is going to be a bearded Bruce Wayne. So that's cool. There's a picture also on social of Ray Palmer kind of in profile standing in front of the Palmer Tech logo. So I swear Brandon Routh's going to be the hardest working man on this crossover if he's doing Ray Palmer Tech, if he's doing Ray Wave Rider, and if he's doing, Kingdom Come Superman. So in the red briefs. And Mark Guggenheim says there's going to be a great explanation that nobody will see coming for why Felicity is not involved in the crossover. So I look forward to hearing that, although I just wish she was in the crossover.
Yes.
That's just me. Yeah. And then the last bit of news of the week is for Watchmen. And that is Damon Lindelof saying that the show has been designed to be a 9-episode, 1-season standalone story. Unlike Lost, it's not going to be full of cliffhangers and things that will be unresolved. It'll be more like The Leftovers, where each season tells a complete story and that it could continue, but it's not necessary in order to resolve the storylines. So
sounds like
so says Damon Lindelof.
Sounds like someone's learned his lesson.
Yeah, hopefully. And the title of the premiere is "It's Summer and We're Running Out of Ice." And the episode description refers to Jeremy Irons' character as the Lord of a country estate.
Ooh, okay. Lord of a country estate. All right. And you say that's the last bit of news? Wow.
Not much news this week.
Light week. Well, we did just cover 6 shows. So that means now it's time for our winners of the week.
I am happy to go first.
Sure.
So despite the fact that The Flash this week misspelled Wookiee, according to the eagle eye of my buddy at Wang Chang Backup on Twitter, so that is something for them to sort out. Flash, I gotta give it to the Flash for using the Flash Gordon theme song so effectively and so joyfully. It brought me, it was like 60 seconds of pure happiness in a week when I kind of needed that. So thank you, the Flash, and thank you, Queen, for finally matching song with show winner of the week.
Okay, all right. So mine is a theme. It doesn't quite run through all of the episodes, but most of them, which is crummy relatives. So on Batwoman, you have Alice being really not a great sister or daughter. Kidnapping people and holding a city hostage. Not a lot of fun. On Supergirl, you have John's brother, unleashing midnight upon the city. Black Lightning, I couldn't really think of one. The closest I can come with is like Jennifer Just like, stop jumping in when you're not ready. On Flash, you had Ramsey, whose mom just died, and deciding to do really not safe medical experiments in her name. Don't really think that's what his
She
mom...
didn't deserve that.
No. And on Titans, of course, well, Superboy's one of Superboy's genetic fathers is Lex Luthor. Not a great guy.
Not good.
So yeah, crummy relatives running through all the shows this week. That's my winner for the week.
Nice.
All right, and which brings us to the end of the show, and we kept this pretty tight. It's pretty tight.
Yeah, really, for the number of episodes we had, I'm proud of us.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for listening. That's the DC TV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Little Eddie O'Hare.
And I'm at Sarah Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister show, the Wicked Theory Podcast. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer, Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam.
Shazam!